napkin down here. Okay, yes, we're talking about sleep tonight. And I don't know, but I haven't been getting too much for the last couple weeks, so I guess we'll all enjoy a little bit more of that tomorrow. Rest is going to rejuvenate and rebuild our body at night. I don't feel very rejuvenated when I haven't had a good night's sleep. My grandmother complains a lot because she doesn't sleep very well. This is, I think a lot of Americans have this problem. Am I doing something?
No, it's not you.
Okay. For once. Okay. Your mind is going to be refreshed and you're going to feel uplifted in spirit, and we want to have good daily sleep, but also we want to have our day of rest once a week. And our loving Creator, of course, built that right into His plan by giving us the 7-day Sabbath, which was a huge blessing. It's never been a must-do, or it's been like a blessing, a gift to me to have that time carved out just for me and my Creator and my family to have this time together. So we all long to get a deep, sound, and refreshing sleep. Some benefits that we can get as we get adequate sleep: it's going to reduce our risk of disease, and some of those diseases we can have a weakness in our immune system if we don't get enough sleep. Which, like we said before, all of these are going to do, as far as the immune system, you're going to have that all boosted by doing all of these things. It's really not hard to do when you think about prevention. You don't want to wait until something comes of your lifestyle and you're sitting at the doctor's office, why didn't I do these when I was younger? Hopefully we can counteract some of those things that might come.
Control and maintain your blood pressure. One thing that I've always noticed, and I'm not attributing this just to sleep or that I'm some super healthy human being, but all my life, since I've been eating this lifestyle for about 16 years, they always keep telling me, when I go to get my blood pressure, they say, oh, my blood pressure's really low. I'm like, is it too low? And they go, oh no, it's a good low, but it's low, you know? So, I don't know, maybe it's from doing most of these things. It also can reduce your stress, just like all these others we've mentioned. Just getting the proper rest, you can have reduced stress. And that can, just having the reduced stress alone can help to, with your problems with maybe heart disease or strokes. This is going to help with your the sleep can repair your physical and mental damage that you have throughout the day, and also makes the information that you've gotten easier to
access. And ooh, there I am. Whoa. Can I turn that down a little bit? I just don't like to hear myself. Okay. All right. So we want to, of course, reduce the stress. Everybody knows that that's going to prevent a lot of problems that we can have. You're going to improve your memory. It's hard to imagine that these simple remedies are going to improve your memory when we start early in our life, or as soon as we can, as soon as we know about it. You can enhance that. Also, of course, you're going to enhance your quality of life. Everything's a lot better when you're rested, and also increases your levels of deep sleep. When you get your deep sleep, that's going to energize you, is what I'm trying to say. I didn't say that properly. Also, you can help to maintain your weight with getting enough sleep. There are studies that seem to suggest that this relates to obesity when you're not getting enough sleep. They say that it appears to be due in part to increases of stress and inflammatory hormones. Now, I don't know a lot about that part of it, but that's what their studies are leading to. And I guess you could probably look that up, or maybe Rob knows a little bit more. He said he studied a lot into sleep. All right, you're going to reduce your depression. I do not like to be depressed. I'd love to be happy. Somebody told me the other day, they said, you're always smiling, but I just feel good. I love life. I love people. And you can't help but be a ray of sunshine when you're that way.
Amen.
So for a lot of people, I was saying, there's millions of people that just aren't even getting this sleep that they need, especially the deep sleep. And because they're not getting that deep sleep or the regular sleep, they're, or some of them aren't even hardly sleeping at all. So it's not just that you're not getting the deep sleep. Some of them really aren't sleeping. But because, like my grandmother, I think she's in and out of sleep, it's not the deep sleep, she really doesn't feel like she slept. And she therefore falls back on some kind of pill from a doctor. And I don't try to tell her what to do, but really if you can avoid that, that's the best thing, is to avoid that at all costs. You don't want to rely and depend upon those for your sleep. Or you don't want to rely on alcohol. I'm sure we're not partaking of alcohol at night, but if you know someone that is, you would encourage them not to do that. That kind of sleep is not the kind of sleep that gets your deep sleep. It may help you fall asleep, but you don't go deep. Yeah. Caffeine, yes, that's one of them. You don't want to have the caffeine. And, this poor sleep does is it affects us emotionally even. Sometimes when my grandmother hasn't slept well, I'm sorry, I keep talking about my grandmother. She's a lovely woman. Some of you have met her. But if she hasn't had her sleep, she can get a little emotional and feel like she's going to fall apart. And I'm the same way if I don't get my sleep. So I shouldn't really load that all on my grandmother. But so some of the suggestions that I'm gonna give you some suggestions that can help you get a good night's sleep. You of course want to establish a regular daily schedule for sleeping. When I had children, it was so easy. Well, I still have children, but they're big children now and they're not all at home.
My husband's calling.
Oh, we better get that. Okay, but anyway, when my children were littler, I had everything just planned out through the day. It was very simple, and they knew, and they were ready at certain times to take their nap and go to bed at certain times. And it was like clockwork. They would just get up. They would just wake up because your body just wakes up when it's on schedule. You need to get on a regular eating pattern. When your body knows that you're going to eat, it puts the juices into your stomach that's going to digest. And if it doesn't know when you're going to eat, one day you eat at this time, next day you eat at this time, it comes down at odd times and you get acidy stomach and you think, oh, I got to eat right now, and you're trying to get somewhere to eat. And by that time your body's already said, hey, she's not eating, I'm getting rid of the juices. And then you eat, and then your juices aren't necessarily there in force like they were. And so this is going to help too. Eventually, in the long run, it's going to save your body some energy and you can have a better sleep at night. So get on a regular eating and sleeping pattern in your daily schedules. And also there's studies that are suggesting, and the conclusion's not in on this, but there are studies suggesting that maybe some small naps through the day. If you're very tired, maybe if you haven't gotten your sleep, maybe some small naps, like 10 minutes. Stretch out or do it, even if you just rest, sitting there without anything on your mind, just kind of take a break for 10 minutes and rest, and then go back to it. And like I say, that's still out there. They're still studying that, but it sounds good to me. I like a little nap during the day. But, okay. So increase your exercise program. Again, we're throwing in the exercise. That's going to help you sleep. My grandmother does get more sleep when she exercises. She goes up to Wellness Center 3 times a week, and she usually does sleep better those nights that she's gotten out there. And same with me. I really enjoy when I get to work out. Be sure to have good ventilation in your room. We've gone over that with your environment there. Definitely, we want to have a good ventilation. You don't want it too hot and too stuffy. It's so much better to sleep in a cool, crisp room. So crack your windows and drink some relaxing herb tea. If you have a little trouble getting to sleep, there are some herbal teas that you can drink that will aid you in your sleep. And of course, like you were saying, avoid the stimulants like caffeine or any of the other things that might stimulate you. You really want to have the natural tired feeling. You don't want to, I don't know if we have any kind of, I know we don't have narcotics, but if we have friends or anybody that's using caffeine or narcotics, that's one of the things you want to tell them, especially when you're getting ready to go to sleep. We don't want to take any of those. Take a warm bath to relax. I like that. And keep your sleeping room dark and quiet. Sometimes people will fall asleep to a TV and they'll have it running all night long. It's so bad for you to have that light flashing all night. Your body actually makes, and I didn't study that, but is it melatonin? Does anybody know? Melatonin at night while you're sleeping, if it's dark. And if it's not, and I think it's even before the hours before midnight. So you really want that dark room. Yeah, if you have an alarm clock light, I have mine down on the very lowest. I mean, I can barely even see it. I use my phone, and I scan it down real. So, again, have a dark and a quiet room. Just like TV, that constant noise isn't good. Allow at least half an hour to unwind. Sometimes it's very difficult for moms to quit being busy. It seems I'm forever having this or that project that needs to get done, and I've got a few more hours before it's time to go to bed. And a lot of times my husband's like, will you just stop? And he's always glad for Friday because he's like, Sabbath's coming. We're going to have worship. You better stop right now. And I'm like, okay. And I don't mind stopping then. But during the week, no. I'm just like, go all the way up until we have worship and go to bed. And that's really not good. You want to take some time to unwind, maybe a half hour, or take that bath and just unwind. Sometimes your mind's still going. Of course, you want to go to bed early. Like I was saying before, the earlier you get to bed, 8 or 9 o'clock, those hours before midnight are going to be worth 2 hours after midnight. It's not the same sleep after midnight for some reason. And like Rob said, he studied into this. He may have the reasons why on that. But definitely get to your early bed. And they always said early to bed, early to rise. Makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. And of course, God made the darkness. I told my husband, I said, I wish I didn't have man that I had to go for and do for, and I just went to sleep dark, just go to sleep. So maybe one day we'll be doing that. It won't be dark in heaven. No, it'll be all light. Yeah. All right. So, and also trust in God. If you are having trouble in the middle of the night sleeping, for one, pray. I mean, who better to talk to? My grandmother, she actually prays for people a lot of times. She will spend those waking hours praying for people. But also you can pray to God and ask Him for that peace that the Creator has, that He's offered to us. And also remember that the Lord promises to give us sleep. And you know what? When He makes a promise, that word is fulfilled in you if you accept it, if you take that. His word cannot lie. If He says your shirt is black, it's black. No matter if you're wearing blue right now or not, when He says it, that's it. He can't lie. If He's going to give his people, it says here, the psalmist states this, he says, He gives His beloved sleep. If He said He would give us sleep, He will give us sleep. We need to trust Him. Also, Jesus, He says, come to me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. That's a promise. You can take that to the bank. Also, I wanted to kind of give a brief thing. We had this wellness sign here, this acronym, water. Remember, we're about 70 to 90% water in our whole body, and perfect. Maybe it'd be perfect to get 8 to 10, or I know they say 6 to 8, but I like to say 8 to 10. But anyway, at least get your 8 cups of water in there during the day. Keep your blood flowing so that it can provide all of the nutrients that your body needs. If it's sludge, it's not getting through these little bitty vessels in there. Your blood is all sticky and it's getting clogged up. Let's see. Also, that was water. We had exercise. And of course, we know about that. We can get strengthened and our strength and endurance, and also lower certain disease things, blood pressure and heart disease. Also, your lifestyle, the decisions that we made yesterday actually affects us today. The decisions we make today affects us tomorrow. So it's never too late to make these health choices. And we want to remember temperance. And temperance isn't just going, how does my mother say, temperance in all things. It's not just temperance in all things. It's also abstaining from anything that's harmful. So yes, be temperate. Don't eat a diet full of carrots. I mean, yes, have carrots. I have a lot of them, but don't eat all carrots. Don't exercise 20 hours. But get a good brown balance and abstain from those things that are wrong. Love, we've talked a good deal about that already today, and I don't think I need to stress anymore. We do need the love of our Father, and if He's living in us, we can give that love to everybody around us. And nutrition, we are what we eat. We've seen some different choices that we can make. And, you know, just the fact that we know that we can make them isn't good enough. If we take a step in the right direction, add a few of these things in, take a few of the things we know that are harmful out, eat less of them, and it will encourage you when you start to feel better, when you're not all bloated or sluggish and tired from eating a big old meal. A lot of the meals that we've served today don't necessarily make you feel bloated and tired. The environment, fresh air, I told you, keep your windows cracked, get that air circulating and negative ions in your body, that's what we need. And the sunlight, definitely, we need to get more sunlight. I think we've become couch potatoes or sitting at the desks and air conditioning, and we need to get outside. Get you some natural sunlight. And sleep. I've already gone over the sleep, but just remember that you want to get the more sleep before midnight, and establish regular eating and sleeping patterns. That's really going to help. This is my favorite dessert ever because my kids growing up, we, for the longest time until they started going off to school, they didn't have sugar. I didn't get my kids sugar, except for when I learned about sugar, I stopped. In their early years, they had a little bit, but then I learned about it. When I found this, I was amazed. My grandmother would show me this at her house, and she said, "I'll make you some ice cream right now." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, how long will it take you?" She goes, "Just a couple seconds." I said, "Oh, okay, well, great. Show me." You know, I might need a knife. Somebody could get me a knife. Sharp, because I have a feeling that's going to need to be open. Oh, you got one? Thank you so much. And I know it's got to be clean. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, this is what I do. I buy bananas. Oh, thank you so much. I buy bananas in a box. I put them out. We start eating on them. We eat them in a hurry. We just eat. But we never can eat a whole box. So when they start to get speckly, they're getting sweet. And they're getting perfect when they get speckly. Your bananas. And when they start getting speckly and you're realizing you're not going to catch up with them, take and peel them, put them in a Ziploc bag, and you can have smoothies or ice cream. And this makes it a certain way. I can do the Vitamix, any of us can do the Vitamix, but this makes it and I'm sorry, I do not eat chocolate necessarily, but I have had it occasionally if I am somewhere and everybody's eating it. But I don't usually buy chocolate, and I didn't realize these have chocolate on them, so I'm sorry. Chocolate does that. Well, it has a little bit of caffeine in it, and it's just before bedtime, so I'm going against my own counsel here. But we're going to get Carrie here. Carrie, if you want to hold these, or I guess, I didn't buy those. They come pre-bit. I did not, pre-bitten. That was not me. So I put a little bit of that. If you like strawberry, I put a little bit of strawberry after it gets going here. Take just a second. Oops, oh. You can eat in a bowl if you don't want it on these little things, but my kids loved it in a cone. They thought they were really getting the real thing. It's going to come out eventually. No, I mean, when I take the cone. No, you know what, I might need somebody get a bowl or something to catch it. Oh, you know, with me, yes, this is very possible, okay? I tell you, I will never live this down coming here to Lucedale. My own people. Okay, well, I used to work at Dairy Queen. That's not Dairy Queen just yet. She's okay, we can also do blueberry.
So fun.
Bananas are really sweet. We'll really enjoy this. If they're not, I'm sorry. And I don't know, it depends too on the berries, how sweet your berries are, if they were in season when you get them. If you get your own berries and you know they're real sweet, freeze them, that's the best. Can you guys believe it's coming out frozen like that, like soft serve? What's that machine called? This is a Champion juicer. There are some other juicers that will do this too, but you just have to
look for those.
Does it have to do something?
I'm sorry?
KitchenAid?
I'm not sure if the KitchenAid will. But of course, if you have,
Carry, I would eat it up since it's screwed out without the combo. I'll get some.
Y'all have,
I took this, let me tell you, yeah, and I don't like to have the dairy, so I said, man, that's not fair. I said, I'm gonna bring my thing right here. And of course, mine was done right away. And every, oh, no. You can,
No. She has 4 kids and
I had my kids and my husband started lining up with their little cones and cups and things. Everybody was overeating my ice cream because theirs wasn't done. And mine was ready to go. Good.
So where did you get the shit at?
Huh?
Where did you get that?
You can look it up online. I don't know now where. I ordered it offline. I mean online, excuse me. That wasn't right, offline.
I know what she
This is beyond.
wow, that's a lot.
It takes, I mean, that to me is better than ice cream for many reasons. You're not getting the dairy, but you're not getting the sugar. You're not, I mean, come on. And you don't feel guilty? You can eat that digests in just an
I
hour or
promise
two.
there are no trees.
Woohoo.
Grandmother.
But she, strawberry, blueberry.
Get frozen on it.
Walking up.
Now, I do have recipes that.
Tonight we're going to be making carrot cake, and it's in Miss Finley's book, and it's page 155. And I'll get my gloves on. Carob is a substitute, or it has a similar taste to chocolate. It's ground from the carob pods of the carob tree. And it's better for you than chocolate, because the chocolate has the theobromide in it, which is, it's like a stimulant like the caffeine. And a lot of the athletes use theobromide to rev up their whatever, you know. And so, anyway, it's a healthy substitute. And it originated in Italy. And that's about all I know about the carob.
Remember John the Baptist in the Bible? What did he eat?
Locusts and honey.
What?
Locusts and honey.
Locusts and honey. Probably fun. No, it was a cherub.
From the carob tree.
Caribbean.
I'm,
And honey.
Yeah, but he had, that's what it was. It's not, it wasn't a real locust, you know, like a live insect. It was,
It wasn't a chocolate covered locust?
if you got
Some say that's a delicacy.
I'm putting a half a cup of the Earth Balance margarine in here, and it's soft. And I'm using 1.5 cups of brown sugar, and I use the organic sugar. And I already have my dry ingredients measured out. It is 2 cups of unbleached flour, a half a cup of the carob powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and 4 teaspoons of Rumford baking powder. And I always sift all of it. And I have 2 teaspoons of the energy bacon egg replacer, and 2 tablespoons of water. Let me mix it. And I put this through a little mesh strainer because it lumps up, and it seems to be easier to mix up if you put it through the little strainer and kind of sift it.
The dry placer?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
you sit,
Sift it, I just mash it with my finger through the,
sip.
yeah. And it, it's real smooth when you do that. Straight down the sides. Now, I'm not doing the method that she has in this book because she says to put everything in the bowl and mix it up, and it looks like it's curdled if you do that. So most recipes making cakes, you,
One at a time.
yeah, and so I'm gonna add the egg replacer. And it gets just like an egg in there. It gets real fluffy. That's right, it's in there. See how fluffy it gets? Mhm. And I've got 1.5 cups of soy milk. And I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract in it. And I'm just going to alternate my flour and my milk, like you would in a,
Just like we did our pound cake.
yeah. I'm going to do it like in 3 layers. Splash it out.
Like Tracy was talking earlier about the health, the detrimental benefits of our things you got from sugar. This is probably the only sweet I get other than having the ice cream we drink in a blender. I had colon cancer and it spread to my liver, and that was about 7 years ago. So I eliminated all that except I have a piece of that once in a while. It doesn't pay much to eat.
Yeah.
How long? We didn't hear that part.
About 7 years.
8
Amen.
about 8 years.
Amen.
Will be in September.
Amen.
Yeah. That's good.
But you have to have a good cook that makes sure you're eating.
Amen.
Yeah.
So that's 15.
With juice and everything you can think of to keep them healthy.
In fact, she saw a recipe today, we were watching the program, waiting to come over here. The lady substituted, she made an apple puree out of fresh apples. Made cookies instead of sugar
And
or
they were real fluffy. The Jazzy vegetarian, it's on the Jazzy vegetarian on the Create channel.
Okay.
She has some good recipes.
Tell me that name again.
Jazzy vegetarian.
You have local time too? Is that
And I don't beat it too much because you don't want it to get tough. Just
just whole wheat or mixture
And
of
see,
whole wheat
it's
and
not
white?
curdled looking, it's just real
Okay.
fattening and pretty. And it calls for an 8-inch cake pan. And more milk. And calls for brown sugar. I don't want to. No, I'll just pour the milk in there. No, it'll be okay. It's soy milk, 1½ cups. And I think it's 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And 2½ teaspoons of 1½ teaspoons of flour. I usually mix the brown sugar and the flour together. And you cook it until it gets thick. Yeah. And
Makes a great roux for vegetarian gumbo.
and I need a tablespoon of that Earth Balance margarine. Put that in there.
Big tea or little tea?
A big.
I'm learning to be a sous chef.
Here's a
Your fingers.
I think it's getting kind of thick now. Yeah, turn it. I think it's maybe you can turn it. Yeah. You can turn off. Just turn it off. Yeah, it's plenty thick. And then 1½ is it 1 cup? 1½ cups of chopped pecans goes in it.
Is that the olive oil with balance, or is it?
It's just plain, it's not the olive oil.
What is it? What's it?
I'm not sure.
They do have it on.
Read on there, see what,
Oh, it's got palm, soybean, canola, and olive oil. It's a blend of
and 1½ teaspoons of vanilla.
and water, salt.
What is that, the vanilla?
Vanilla. Mm-hmm. I was just about out of vanilla. And then 1½ cups of coconut.
I was telling you the other night, Loma Linda, California is one of the 3 blue zones in the world where people live to be way over 100. And they have these stores, and this is where all this comes from. Every time we go, we have a special suitcase. The last time at the airport, the lady called me over and she was pointing, and I said, we don't have
This is the
stores in
finished
Alabama. So
topping for it. Okay, this is going to be vegan bread pudding. I don't know if y'all like bread pudding, but I love it. And it's in your little folder. And first I'm going to butter my dish. I butter it kind of heavy because it really needs it. We have a loaf of French bread, and I've already cubed it up. And it doesn't have any eggs or milk or anything in it. So you can get whatever kind of French bread you like. You could use whole grain or whole wheat or whatever, but I just like the white. And it calls for it calls for a cup of raisins, and I have a cup here, and I have a fourth of a cup. Let me see. Half a cup of fresh squeezed orange juice and the zest of one orange. And I usually make mine at night and put it in the refrigerator and bake it the next day. And so that way you don't have to soak your raisins. So anyway, I'm going to sprinkle the raisins over. It's 1 cup of raisins. And I've got the orange juice and the zest in here. I'm just going to put it over there. And I have 2 cups of coconut milk and 2 cups of almond milk. I don't need that. Just for this off. And it says 2 cups of sugar, but 2 cups of sugar for me is too sweet. So I just use like 1.5 cups. And I use the raw sugar. It still looks like a lot of sugar, but
That's one I do not eat.
no, I don't need it.
Because you don't like it or?
I would probably like it, but I've never tried it.
I tried it last potluck, it was excellent. It wasn't too sweet, I don't like real sweet stuff, but that was excellent. Yeah.
And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And a half teaspoon of nutmeg.
This coconut
Stir
milk,
it up.
you can find brands that are really thick and you chill them, don't you?
Yeah.
Like that.
Whipped
The
cream.
top will make a whipped cream out of it, which is,
It's really good. You can put vanilla in it and some confectioner's sugar if you like, or I just use it plain. Okay. This smells really good when you're making it. Like orange juice and cinnamon and nutmeg, orange zest. Could eat it like that. Okay, I'm gonna pour it in a dish. It's a 9x13 dish.
Now this is after you let it soak, or you put it in your dish and let it soak like that?
All night.
In that dish.
Yeah. And I just dot it with, it says to put it in the mix, but I just dot it with butter because it helps it brown on the top. And I just sprinkle it all over. I just take my fingers and dot it all over with the butter.
Which one are you using? Are you using the Earth Balance or?
Oh, Earth Balance.
That's what I use.
And I use more than what it says.
You don't measure.
No. Okay.
You call it bean, like
Oh.
your butter.
Well, I do. I mean, it makes it pretty when it's brown on the top. I tried it the way the recipe said it first, and it didn't brown. It didn't look good. So I said, well, I'm going to put the, you know. So anyway, make the topping now. It didn't, the recipe didn't call for a topping, so I just made one up. And, I'm gonna use a cup of coconut milk and a cup of almond milk.
Is there any particular reason why you use almond and coconut? You just like it,
I
or?
just like it. It gives it a good flavor. And a cup of the sugar. And I had some cornstarch somewhere. Wait a minute, I have some cornstarch somewhere. Oh.
I'm good.
You finish your sentences and your recipe.
I intended it that way, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, you need to help me.
Okay, 2.5. Is it tablespoons or teaspoons? Teaspoons. 2.5. Yeah, little tea. And this is the cornstarch that's non-GMO. You can get this at Walmart.
Could you use arrowroot instead, or?
You probably could. Mhm. And this will get thick. If it's not thick enough for you, you could add more cornstarch. Hopefully it'll get thick.
Yes.
And then I'm going to put some vanilla in it. A teaspoon.
Can you order this company online, David?
Pardon?
Can you order from this company online?
Trader Joe's.
Oh, that's Trader Joe's?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know. But
I keep calling her and telling her, move on our way, but they haven't. I hope that Whole Foods will
They don't, yeah.
and I put a couple of tablespoons of teaspoons of the butter in there too.
Yeah, if you just got a little bit of an accent, I think you'd work just fine. We put you on the net.
Y'all.
Yeah, that's right.
Ain't that my butter, y'all?
Well,
A butter popsicle?
Yeah. Harriet,
okay, I think it's ready.
keep it
I'll
going.
turn it off. And it thickened up good.
Such a glaze. Is that like a glaze?
Well, you put it on your plate and then you just put a little bit over
Like
it.
a sauce.
Mhm. I used to make one that had bourbon in it, but
That's your
See, that
sanctified
is-
version. That's your temperance.
yeah. Okay, that's it.
We have a guy at church, every time she needed whiskey or bourbon to cook with, she would
She
get me
needs
up,
to call?
she didn't want to go to the store.
Shun the appearance of evil.
And you know, it cooks out, alcohol cooks out, but it leaves a really good taste to it.
Flavor.